Hello everybody, myself Prashant Mukhopadhyay, faculty member, Electrical Engineering Department, Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management. So in this subject of electric machine 2, in the last class we were discussing about the effect of parameter variation on torque speed or torque slip characteristics. So we have discussed the different facets of this parameter variations on torque speed characteristics, and in that regards we have found the say starting torque and torque under running conditions and how it is affected by the variations of the rotor resistance and rotor reactance, etc. And in the running conditions we have found and discussed that the maximum torque was actually independent of rotor resistance as such, and speed or slip at which the maximum torque occurs is determined by the rotor resistance, and torque becomes maximum when the rotor reactance equal to its rotor resistance. And so by varying rotor resistance it is only possible for slip ring motors. So maximum torque can be made to occur at any desired slip or motor speed, and maximum torque varies inversely at as standstill reactance, and hence it should be kept as small as possible. So and also we have observed that maximum torque varies directly at the square of the supply voltage or applied voltage. So for obtaining maximum torque at starting, that is at standstill condition, the rotor resistance must be equal to rotor reactance. So these are the observations we have found during our last class discussions. Now if we will discuss about the rotor torque and breakdown torque. The rotor torque at any slip can be expressed in terms of its maximum or breakdown torque, that is TB, by this equation T equal to TB into 2 by SB by S plus S by SB, where SB is the breakdown or pull out slip. So this is very important. So maximum torque motor torque can be expressed in terms of breakdown or maximum torque with this relationship T equal to TB into 2 by SB by S plus S by SB, where SB is the slip at breakdown or pull out torque, and which is called a breakdown slip or pull out slip. So with this now if we plot this relation between the torque and slip or torque and speed, say we can get a family of torque slip curves from a range of S equal to 0 to S equal to 1. So if we put, so this is the slip torque, and this is actually this axis is percentage speed of percentage of synchronous speed, so speed percentage of synchronous speed. So and this is slip in this direction. So for slip it is 0 to in this way, and for speed from 0 to this way. So as R2 as a parameter, if we R2 is the rotor resistance, if we see the torque is the expressed like K phi S E2 R2 by R2 square plus S X2 square. So it is clear that when S equal to 0, that means the curve starts from the point 0 here. So S is 0 means why S is 0? So that means at synchronous speed. Okay, rotor is rotating at synchronous speed. This is absolutely not possible in case of induction motor. So it is torque will be 0. Hence the torque will be 0, and the curve starts at the point 0. Okay. At normal speed, closely to synchronism, the term X2 is small and hence negligible with respect to R. Okay, So in that case, so we can write the torque is directly proportional to S by R2. Okay, so at normal speed, which is closely to synchronous speed, so suppose for a four-fuller machine, it will be 1500 will be RPM will be the synchronous speed, and more or less at normal speed of the induction motor will be around 1440 to 1480. So it is almost nearly to synchronism, and as a result, this SX2 is very small and hence negligible with respect to the rotor resistance R2. So we can write torque is proportional to S by R2. Okay, and our torque is proportional to S if R2 is constant. If R2 is constant, then torque is proportional to slip. So hence for the low values of slip, at low values of slip at different R, the different families of R, so R, 4R, 6R, etc. So the torque slip curve or torque speed curve is approximately a straight line. Okay, this is approximately straight line. Clear? And as slip increases, the torque also increases. As slip increases, torque is also increases, and becomes maximum. So this is maximum line of the torque. So maximum when S equal to R2 by X2, that we have seen. So this torque is called the pull-out torque or breakdown torque. Okay, this maximum torque at slip where it is the maximum. This is called pull-out slip or breakdown slip, and the torque is called the pull-out torque or breakdown torque, or it is called the stalling torque. Okay, so as the slip further increases, the motor is as further increases, this motor speed falls with further increase in the motor load. Then R2 becomes negligible as compared to SX2, and therefore for large values of slip, hence torque is proportional to 1 by S. Okay, so S by S X2 the whole square, that is proportional to 1 by S. Hence torque slip curve is a rectangular hyperbola. Okay, it's a rectangular hyperbola. So we see that beyond the point of maximum torque, any further increase in the motor load results in decrease of torque developed by the motor, and the result is that the motor slows down and eventually stops. So the circuit breakers will be tripped open if the circuit has been so protected. In fact, the stable operation of the motor lies between the values of S equal to 0 and that corresponding to maximum torque. This is the stable operation zone. Okay. So for this one, for this. Okay. So this is for this, so on. So actually, so it is operating torque is shown here in this shadow. This is the operating torque region. Okay, and it is that although maximum torque does not depend on R2, yet the exact location of Tmax is dependent on it. So greater the R2, greater is the value of the slip at which the maximum torque occurs. Okay. See. Okay. Hence, from this discussion, we find the how the rotor resistance say affect the torque speed characteristics. So it is discussed vividly, and it is found from this torque speed or torque slip characteristics of the induction motors. So how the rotor resistance affect on torque speed or torque slip characteristics. Now we'll discuss the effect of change in supply on supply voltage on torque and speed. So to do that, actually we have to recollect the expression of the torque. That is, torque is equal to K phi S E2 R2 by R2 square plus S square X2 square. And also E2 is directly proportional to phi, and which is also proportional to the supply voltage V. V is the supply voltage. Okay. So we can write the torque is proportional to SV square. Obviously, torque at any speed is proportional to square of the applied voltage. So if stator voltage decreases by 10%, torque will decrease by 20%. Changes in supply voltage not only affect the starting torque, but torque under running condition also. And if V decreases, then torque also decreases, and hence for maintaining the same torque, slip increases, that is speed falls. So let V changes to V dash, and torque to T dash, then T by T dash should be equal to SV square by S dash V dash square. Okay, so this is the effect of change in supply voltage on torque and speed. So once again I am repeating this discussion, that is expressions of torque is equal to K phi S E2 R2 by R2 square plus S square X2 square. And again, E2 is directly proportional to phi, which is directly proportional to the supply voltage V. And obviously, torque at any speed is proportional to the square of the applied voltage. So therefore, torque is proportional to S into V square. So if stator voltage decreases by 10%, the input, the torque decreases by, in that case, 20%. So changes in supply voltage not only affect the starting torque TST, but torque under running conditions also. And so if V decreases, then T also decreases, and let V changes to V dash, and S changes to S dash, and T to T dash, then the relationship will be like this: T by T dash equal to S V square by S dash V dash square. So this is the effect of change in supply voltage on the torque and speed. So far we have discussed today, that is the torque, rotor torque and breakdown torque relationship. That is torque is torque at any slip S can be expressed as the maximum of breakdown torque is T equal to TB into 2 by S by SV by S plus S by SV, where SV is the pull out or breakdown slip. And we have found from the expressions of the torque the relation between torque and slip. So torque is proportional to K phi SE2 R2 by R2 square plus S square X2 square. When S equal to 0, T equal to 0, hence the curve starts from S equal to 0, and at normal speed, which is close to synchronism, the Sx2 is small and hence negligible with respect to R2, and torque is proportional to S by R2. And if R2 is constant, then torque is proportional to directly proportional to slip. So as slip increases, torque also increases, and becomes maximum when S equal to R2 by X2. So the torque is known as the pull out or breakdown torque, or TB, or stalling torque. And as slip further increases, that is motor speed will fall, and further increase in the motor load, then R2 becomes negligible as compared to Sx2, and therefore for the large slips, the torque slip characteristics will be like a rectangular hyperbola. So beyond the point of maximum torque, any further increase in the load results in decrease of the torque developed by the motor, and the result is the motor slows down and eventually stop. So, and we got in the effect of the supply voltage also that we have discussed. So we are discussing about the effect of change in supply voltage on torque and speed, and we found that torque is from the expression of torque. Torque is equal to K phi SE2 R2 by R2 square S square X2 square, and as E2 is directly proportional to phi, and which is also directly proportional to the supply voltage. So torque we can conclude that is directly proportional to SB square. So obviously torque at any speed is proportional to the square of the applied voltage. So if starter voltage decreases by 10%, the torque decreases by 20%, and changes in supply voltage not only affect the starting torque but under torque under running conditions also. And if V decreases, then T also decreases. So hence for maintaining the same torque, slip increases, that is speed falls. So let V changes to V dash and S changes to S dash and T to T dash, then T by T dash should be equal to S V square by S dash V dash square. So that we have discussed so far. So now we'll see how the supply frequency will the effect of changes in supply frequency on torque on speed. So this is also an important parameter due to which changes of these parameters also change the torque and speed of the induction motor. So and hardly any important changes in the frequency takes place on a large distribution system except during a major disturbance. So it is more or less we can consider the frequency is constant. But however, large frequency changes often takes place on isolated low power systems in which electric energy is generated by means of diesel engines or gas turbines. So examples of such systems are emergency supply in a hospital and in the electrical system on a ship, etc. See, whenever we are using induction motor in a grid, on a grid supply, that is the change in frequency is a very rare factor. So only in case of major disturbance, the system say the frequency change can happen, and that will definitely affect the torque and speed of the induction motor. But generally it is a very rare case. But frequency change may take place and often take place on isolated low power systems in which electric energy is being supplied or generated and supplied by diesel engines or gas turbines, etc. Just like any supply in case of any emergency supply of a hospital or any and the electrical system of a ship. In that case, this is a very standalone system. General power supply is made by say power generation through say gas turbine or through diesel engines, etc. So in that case, the change of supply frequency may happen, and this will affect the torque and speed of the induction motor. So this measured effect of change in supply frequency is on motor speed. If frequency drops by 10%, then motor speed also drops by 10%. So machine tools and other motor-driven equipment meant for 50 Hertz causes problem when connected to 60 Hertz supply. So everything runs 60 minus 50 into 100 by 50. That means 20% faster than normal. The normal speed. So in this may not be acceptable in all the applications. So in that case we have to use either gears to reduce this motor speed or an expensive 50 Hertz source. Okay, so this is very important. So if the machine is made for frequency of 50 hertz, and in case of it is connected with a supply of 60 hertz. So this 10 hertz frequency difference will make the speed of the motor 20% faster than its normal speed, and as a result this is not acceptable in all applications. So in that case the speed reduction means or methodology must be used either by using gears or by installing 50 hertz source. Okay, so that is expensive and this is an extra cost. So a 50 hertz motor operates well on a 60 hertz line provided its terminal voltage is raised to 60 by 50, that is 6 by 5, that is 120% of the nameplate rating. Okay, that can be. So in that case motor supply voltage also be raised. Okay, in that case the new breakdown torque becomes equal to the original breakdown torque, and the starting torque is only slightly reduced. So however power factor, efficiency and temperature rise remains satisfactory. So similarly 60 hertz motor can operate satisfactorily on 50 hertz supply provided its terminal voltage is reduced to 5 by 6, that is 80% of its nameplate rating. So actually so in that case you have to modify in this way. So otherwise this effect of change in the supply frequency must definitely change in the torque and speed characteristics of the motor. Okay, now if we see the full load torque and maximum torque under we see let SF with a slip corresponding to full load torque, then full load torque is proportional to SF R2 by R2 square SF X2 whole square, and maximum torque is proportional to 1 by 2x2. So TF by Tmax will be how much? 2 SF R2 X2 by R2 square SF square X2 square. And now if we divide both the numerator and denominator by X2 square, so we will get TF by Tmax equal to 2 SF R2 by X2 R2 by X2 square plus SF square. Let's say it is equal to 2A SF by A square SF square. If you put R2 by X2 equal to A, this is a resistance per standstill reactance. Okay, so in fact A is maximum slip corresponding to maximum torque. In that case these relations become K by Tm equal to SM SF square by SM square SF square. So SF is the full load slip. So we can conclude that generally operating torque at any slip S by maximum torque should be equal to 2 AS by S square plus SF square. So this is very important relationship which can be useful to find out the effect of this parameters for torque speed characteristics. Now, what is the relation between starting torque and maximum torque? This is the starting torque expression. It is proportional to R2 by R2 square plus X2 square, and maximum torque is proportional to 1 by 2x2. So the ratio of the starting torque to maximum torque will be how much? 2 R2x2 divided by R2 square plus X2 square. So if we divide the both numerator and denominator by X2 square, so it will be 2 R2 by X2 into 1 plus R2 square by X2 square, that is 2A by 1 plus A square. So that means where A equal to R2 by X2, so equal to rotor resistance by standstill reactance per phase. So we can say the relations become say full load torque by similar relation where the relation becomes TF by Tmax equal to 2Sm by 1 plus Sm square. So actually these are the various relationship between full load torque, maximum torque, starting torque are available at different slips, that is maximum slip at any or any other slip. So these relationships also help us to know the effect of say slip, which is also on torque, and the effect of other parameters like stator resistance, rotor resistance, rotor reactance, as well as say supply voltage and supply frequency on the torque speed characteristics, etc. So, so these are the things which are the or parameters which have the effect on the torque speed characteristics. So far in the last two class, so we have discussed all this effect of the parameters of variation in the torque speed characteristics, and how this variation can affect in the practical cases, and how it can be modified. So starting from its say supply voltage, supply frequency, rotor resistance, rotor reactance, etc. How the say torque speed or torque slip characteristics in the curve will change, or say how the stable area of operations will be changed. And so everything has been discussed in this effect of parameter variation on torque speed characteristics. So with this we have covered so far the induction machines from its very construction, its types, its say equivalent circuits, its phasor diagram, its torque slip characteristics. Not only that, we have discussed about the say losses, power flow diagram of the induction machines, how from input power to the output power it has been flowing. So that also we have discussed. We have also discussed the different losses, coal loss, copper loss, mechanical loss, stray losses, etc. And we have also found the efficiency. And then we have discussed the effect of the parameter variations on the torque speed characteristics, and these parameters are so rotor resistance, rotor reaction, reactance, supply voltage, supply frequency, and how to overcome this, or how the in real life how the frequency change or the voltage change will affect the torque and speed of the squirrel cage induction motor or slip ring induction motor, and how that can be accommodated without say affecting major difficulties. So that we have discussed. So with this I hope we can conclude today's class. And not only that, I expect that everybody of you say listen the class carefully, and you have got the proper understanding of the subject. And as I told you before, that we have taken the help of the textbook like electrical machinery of P.S. Bimla, say Nagrat and Kothari, M.N. Bandyopadhyay, say Fitzgerald and Kingsley, M.G. say Lansdorff, etc. So not only that, you can consult with this video lectures, you can consult the different NPTEL lectures, different lectures available in SHAM and MOOCs platform. So and yeah, say if you get any difficulties, then you can contact me. We'll discuss your problem.